Hey guys, welcome to finally a new...
Oh my god.
Coke
Gaming?
Are you serious?
Did you just...
10,000... Oh my god!
I can't believe this. We got partner!
We got partner! That's our intro.
That was the best we could think
We
of.
just had to get that out, dude. That fucking ad is running on every single channel.
Yeah, dude, I was waiting. I was watching the impeachment debates on Twitch, on twitch.tv/Washington Post.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for Adam Schiff to just like get the notification that he got partnered. And he'd be like, the articles of Coke Gaming.
Coke Gaming? What? It's a well-made ad. If I can picture all of the fucking streamers and their weird vocal tendencies. All right, guys, welcome to the year roundup analog.
Yeah.
We know we've been gone for a while. We always are. Whatever. It's just a present for you. This is our present to you, analog. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, happy holidays.
We're gonna be talking about Melee.
Yeah, the state of Melee.
Yeah.
It's been a long year. I think it's now been about a year since we did our Ultimate post-release episode where we were playing Ultimate for the whole episode.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, time flies, man. That feels like it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it's been a good year for both of us, but not a good year for our podcast as a result.
Yeah. I was looking at this and I had messaged you saying, wow, we did 8 episodes this year, and last year we did...
9.
Now, this is the 9th of the year, and last year we did 30.
Yeah.
How did we have that much time?
Yeah, well,
we can barely squeeze in a time now.
I was freelance, and now I'm going back to freelance, so that'll be a little bit more. Damn, Spock is dying. Rishi just has Star Trek on. I was going to say, is this the one where Spock dies?
Yeah.
Carl Urban is freaking the fuck out.
Yeah. I was never like a Star Trek fan growing up. The first thing I'd seen of Star Trek was the new reboot of the trilogy.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's good. Chris Pine, dude. He's one of the good Chris's.
Yeah.
And fucking Zachary Quinto.
Yeah.
Anyways, Melee. Podcasts are hard, but now I'm freelance again, so maybe I'll be more free. I'm done applying to grad school. That was why we were busy for the past 2 months, as I was just doing that. Rishi's life is
less busy.
just getting busier and busier every week.
Sorry,
but
guys.
I'll be able to round him up for certain stuff.
It's just because I spend the rest of my time talking about video games now. So
That's true. Yeah, that's rough. But they're not as interesting as this one. All right, so let's talk about this one.
Yeah.
So ranking season is underway fully. It's in full swing.
Yeah.
And it's maybe Gimme Dat Wheat has been talking about this a lot of rival podcast Melee Stats. That this is probably he just DM'd me
Is it a Melee
too
Stats
in Discord.
podcast? I thought they just have a Twitter where they recap locals.
Oh yeah, it's a new one I think.
Okay.
The podcast they're like still just getting their feet on the ground.
Yep.
Figuring out what they want to do.
Cool. Well,
I
good
think,
luck, guys.
It's good to see a small competitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, very small.
Yeah.
But he talks about a lot the fact that this is probably the least secure number 1 that there's ever been, and yet it's still obviously
period
for a year, for a year's ranking. And yet, this is still very concretely HBox's number 1.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of interesting that like after a tournament he can walk away and be like, all right guys, I'm number 1 now, and the rest of us are like, yeah.
Well, because if you think about other years that were so obviously the past 3 years in a row it's just HBox, right? Mm-hmm. And then before that's Armada. And then if you think of the last time...
past 2, this will be the 3rd, right?
This will be the 3rd HBox year, sorry. And then it's Armada. And then if you go back beyond that, when it was really contentious, I mean, when Mango had his number 1 years was when Armada was retired for a little bit. And then Armada came back for half of one of the years, and then it wasn't... I might be messing all this up. But honestly, even though there were periods where it was very unclear who was number 1 in the world, like 2015 is the year that everyone remembers as it was really unclear if it was PP or Armada or Leffen even as number 1 in the world. The results for the full year were pretty fucking laid out. Like it was pretty obvious who was number 1.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that he we all kind of feel like he takes the number 1 spot, even though he didn't even win the highest number of super majors this year.
Did he not?
No, he won 1.
He only won 1. So who won the most super majors? Leffen?
I think Mango won 2.
Are we counting Mango's birthday bash
No,
as a super major?
didn't he win something else? Didn't he win?
He won Gommel.
Yeah, Gommel and Big House.
Oh yeah.
HBox only won Pound. I think.
Well, Gommel wasn't
right?
a super major either. Was it?
It was pretty
Was it?
close,
I don't
wasn't it? It was pretty. I mean, it's
Because it was. I guess it was. It was Leffen, HBox, Plup, right, at that tournament.
and Axe.
And Axe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Grand Finals was
Axe Mango.
Was
right?
HBox at that tournament?
I think
can't even
HBox
remember.
lost at that tournament. I think he lost to people at that tournament.
Oh yeah, because that's where Moki almost beat him.
I'm just gonna look it up.
Gommel is where Moki almost beat him.
Yeah.
Took him to game 5.
Melee. I was just looking at this earlier this week.
Wow, is that
Melee
really-
majors?
Is that really true that Mango has the most majors? I have not been.
I'm pulling up the Liquipedia page. Okay, so Melee.
So
Let me just look up Melee majors.
Well,
Yeah,
it had
here
it
we
right
go.
there.
Here
It
we
had it
go.
right there.
That was a subsection. I want the whole year. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So let's see. So Mango's
HBox
birthday.
won Genesis. Yeah, he won.
He won Genesis, Pound, Shine.
So the
main
super
stage.
majors are these highlighted in yellow. So of the super majors this year, we had Genesis, Gommel, Smash and Splash 5, Smash Con, and Big House 9.
And Mango won too because he
Mango
won Big
won
House
too.
and Gommel.
He won
That's
Big
crazy.
House and Gommel. Hungrybox won Genesis. Wizrobe won Smash and Splash, and Leffen won Smash Con.
Yep.
And Mango won 2 of the 5. That's wild.
Yeah, that is wild. That's crazy.
And HBox's only victory of those 5 was the first tournament of the year, almost now a year ago, right?
Yeah, but then when you get down into the tournaments underneath that,
Yeah.
you have HBox winning Pound.
And you have 5 additional HBox wins.
Right, you got Pound, CEO, Low Tier City, Shine, and Main Stage. And it does have to be said too that like those are not equal. Shine and Main Stage are probably the 2 biggest tournaments of the year, other than Summit, that aren't super majors. So HBox winning those is a pretty big deal, even if it was a smaller Shine this year.
And a second place at Smash Con and a second place at Mango's birthday bash.
Yeah, so he's obviously number 1, but I think one of the reasons why it's so contentious this year is because obviously Mango has more super major wins, but also it's pretty clear right now that Mango's the best player in the world at the moment.
He looks like it.
Yeah.
He feels like it.
He's proven it by winning back-to-back majors, right? By
2 in a row.
winning Big House into Mango's birthday bash.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive. And then the other thing...
And he beat HBox at both of them.
Right, and then the other thing that makes it harder is that Leffen had a really good year when he looked 100%, and then other times he was just playing Ultimate or dropping out of tournament or something, right? So a lot of people are thinking, like, if Leffen had gone to more tournaments, he might have just been number 1, too.
You know, the one of the recent like mini discourses I saw on Twitter was about whether or not Leffen should be number 2 or whether
Number
it should
3.
be Mango. Yeah. And I saw Armada tweeted in favor of Leffen, like, you know, kind of repeating the regional bias type thing where like if Leffen had entered more or something, he's gonna get punished. But I think he's gonna get punished for his DQs, right? And for his lack of attendance.
Yeah.
I think the fact that Mango won 2 of the 5 super majors and also had the benefit of attendance,
Yeah,
I think works in his favor. I know his lows are low.
his lows are low, dude. His lows are low. 17th places, right?
Yeah, but when you're looking at the whole year and you have that much stronger attendance than Leffen, at some point it becomes like a level of confidence thing, right? Like that's how I've always seen rankings. It's like, how much are you able to build or shake my level of confidence in your ranking? And the more data you have, one way or the other, the higher the confidence will be in that result.
Yeah, I agree with that, but that's also why I might give the edge to Leffen, is because Leffen's done nothing to shake my confidence in him.
Didn't he get 9th place at Shine?
Did he?
I think so.
I don't
Like lost to Cody and Moki or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that did happen, didn't it? You can't even see him.
Yeah,
on the fucking
Liquipedia is
placing.
like so
That's
oddly
doubles.
here.
Places 5 to 12.
Okay, he got 5th.
He got 5th. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I guess it's not as bad as I
That's
thought.
not bad at all. He just lost to Moki at that tournament, and then he lost to Cody after that. But but it was in top 8. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, not that bad.
Moki's also a top 20 player, and Cody's 10th or 11th or 9th. Like that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not like Mango getting...
Yeah, it is, whatever.
Because what
losing to Magi at Genesis.
Mango losing to Magi at Genesis, and then... Jesus Christ, yeah, this is...
Something happened at SmashCon too, right?
Wait, what is happening?
I just always assume he loses at SmashCon.
So he got 13th at Main Stage, he got 9th at SmashCon.
Oh yeah, he lost to Lucky randomly.
He got 9th at Summit. Okay, I said 17th. He never got 17th. But Main Stage, where he lost to Lucky, and he lost to fucking...
that was bizarre.
He lost to fucking Chudat in winners, right? Is that what happened?
Army, I think.
Army. Yeah, Army reverse... Right, because Army won the Ditto. Ice Climbers.
Maybe
Army
Leffen,
reverse swept him.
Maybe Leffen does have the number 2.
Like, you can't just ignore that.
Maybe he does.
Losses.
Maybe he does. I'm not a panelist this year.
You can not remember them like me, and then that's fine to say that Mango would be number 2. But if you're remembering them, then I think you say Leffen's number 2, probably. For the full year. It's always hard with the full year, dude. It's what we were talking about with Plup last year, too.
Such a strong start.
Such a strong start and such a weak finish. Although Plup obviously has had his weakest year since he ascended
in a while,
to being one of the top players, to being solidly top 10 even. I mean, a lot of people are saying Plup is 9th this year, right?
You could make that argument, yeah.
I think it's pretty clear because you're not going to put Zain, Axe, or Wizrobe below him, right?
Nope. Not at this point.
You're not going to put Amsa below him. Yeah. So it's Plup and Cody battling for 9th and 10th and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Cody has more H-Box wins. I think 1-0.
Yep. He definitely has more H-Box wins.
He has more H-Box win.
1 is greater than 0. You know, one thing that's been really interesting that I didn't even really realize is None has had a crazy back half of the year, dude.
Yeah.
Coming with, of course, playing against Mango.
Yeah, ending Mango's streak to never losing to Falcon.
Beat the only Falcon ever to beat Mango.
Yeah.
Right? Which is crazy. And absolutely, I don't know, does it make sense that this happened so long ago, but the fact that it was None was so funny to me. Because he ended M2K's streak too. But
yeah, he did.
We talked about this on the podcast, though. I actually remember this. It felt so different because we both agree M2K's Sheik was never good against Falcon. He was just better than all the Falcons.
Yeah.
Whereas Mango just destroyed Falcon.
Yeah, he's good at that
He
matchup.
was really good at that matchup. And
None also plays different from the other Falcons.
None plays completely different. Yeah, I don't know.
So there's an elephant in the room of the Melee discussion that I do want to get into a bit.
Sure.
And that's how Melee's coexistence with Ultimate has affected things this past year.
A lot. I mean, Leffen, we were just talking about it, but there's other stuff other than that, too.
Yeah, I mean, it affects the whole picture, right? It brings up a lot of questions about the Smash infrastructure, like, you know, just what the competitive scene looks like, what Ultimate gains for what Melee has already put in place, what Melee gains for the attention that Ultimate brings to the Smash scene.
Yep.
And also just the split of attention between the two games for a lot of players, including myself, who have tried to play both this year.
Yeah.
And that includes Plup and Leffen.
You know what's sort of weird is I feel like, okay, everyone has agreed that Ultimate is better than Smash 4. There's like no one who really
There's like one or two guys on Twitter.
Yeah, right, but there's like really almost no one, right? There's that Long Island guy. But I think Aklo, that guy who was at Hax's nightclub yesterday, I think
You think Smash 4 is better?
I think so, maybe.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
He might not. I might be doing him a disservice.
Well, some people have opinions that are wrong.
But don't you see a lot more vitriol towards Ultimate players than towards Smash 4 players when Smash 4 was a thing? From the Melee side of things? I see a lot more. And a lot more of like saying Ultimate's a bad game. Which I think just has to do with the fact that there was more crossover and now it's more popular and Melee players are exposed to it more.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Really?
I mean, maybe it's just that there's a larger conversation about Ultimate, so you're more likely to see it.
It's just because Leffen exists in Ultimate.
I mean, if you exclude Leffen, who's like an outlier, then what does the conversation look like? You know,
you can't exclude Leffen. He drives like 30% of the conversation about Ultimate.
No, but I mean like specifically comments, like negative comments about Ultimate. Like most of it, he might drive 30% of the conversation, but 90% of the negative comments that are said come from Leffen.
Yeah, but people agree with
saying?
him. If people agree with him a lot, especially on the Melee side.
I feel like I haven't really seen that.
Okay, I've seen so many tweets of people being like Ultimate players trying to come up with a reason to justify liking their game, trying to pretend they actually like playing their game. Like I see those tweets all the time.
Yeah, that I've seen.
More than I saw with Smash 4.
Yeah. I feel like the difference is that with Smash 4 is it was like a pity thing. It's just like, we all kind of know that no one actually likes playing this game.
Yeah.
And you guys just do your thing. Melee was the main event.
I also think with Smash 4, it's interesting because in Smash 4, by far the biggest amount of complaining was about Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Right? Like, easily.
And Cloud, yeah.
But
mostly Bayo.
And it's a little bit easier to have sympathy when complaining about Bayonetta because she was clearly like
she dominated
the
the
best
meta.
Character in the game. She was incredibly, incredibly good, incredibly frustrating, etc., etc. And now the complaints about the game are like about Game & Watch, who's like top 20 maybe.
It changes every few weeks.
Right, sure, but that's why I think there's less sympathy for it because it seems like people are complaining about something different every few weeks.
I feel like...
And Melee players complain too, but it is different.
So my take on it is that the reason people are finding something new to complain about every few weeks is because there's no one thing that clearly breaks the game.
Yeah.
Overall, it's a good game.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's a better game than Smash 4, but the relationship of how it's perceived by Melee players and how Melee players perceive Ultimate players perceive it, like relating to the game, feels a little bit more hostile to me.
I do think it's a very small group of people who are expressing that. I feel like most people I've talked to have not held that animosity towards Ultimate.
You don't look at Twitter randoms enough.
I feel like I'm pretty observant on Twitter.
Okay, that's probably true. I don't know. I feel like it's more. Either way, I think that there's clearly was more crossover at this time than in Smash 4.
for sure.
And that has had a lot of interesting consequences.
Yeah.
Mostly through Leffen, again.
I mean, yeah. A lot of it kind of started around February with Salem. Mm-hmm. Just kind of like...
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, just kind of bringing everything together.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly the whole Smash community against him.
Well, no. The whole non-Smash community.
Sorry, yeah.
Against him.
The Smash community and the Melee community brought together.
Against him. There we go.
God, I'm tired of these jokes, man.
It's just sitting there.
It's been a long year. But yeah, I mean...
What happened to that guy, by the way? Does he go to tournaments? Or does he
No.
just stream with M2K?
He makes YouTube videos with MVG.
Right?
I've seen him like randomly at locals, but it's been at least a few weeks now.
He was at main stage. He beat Armada there and then didn't fist bump him.
Yeah, that was main stage.
Yeah.
When did he lose to Plup? No, didn't he lose to a different Melee player?
Leffen?
No, I mean, besides Leffen and Plup. I thought he lost to someone else too. Maybe it was just Plup that I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen much of him.
Well, that's fine. I don't know. So we started this conversation because you were talking about how Ultimate has affected Melee, how Melee has affected Ultimate, what they gain from each other, what we owe to each other, is in the words of whatever philosopher that is. What do you feel? How have you noticed the crossover?
Well, at least in terms of like my personal experience over the past year, I'm pretty optimistic about both games. Mm-hmm. There have been times where I've wavered on both. Mm-hmm. Where sometimes I worry that like Melee is like not enough is happening in Melee. Like for me, I felt like last year was the most exciting year of Melee in a while, and I when this year is not as exciting as last year, it's easy to just kind of like look away.
Wait, what? This is the year that Axe won Summit, and Wizzy won Smash and Splash.
Yeah.
And Mango won 2 majors.
It just...
You just are mad because Zain hasn't won something.
No. It's that not everyone feels like they're trying as hard as they were in 2018.
Yeah, I get that.
Even though like exciting things did happen this year.
Yeah.
It's not the same as if, you know, Leffen were at his 100, if Armada were at his 100.
I agree with you for the back half of... I agree with you for, like, summer into fall. The beginning of the year was so exciting, with Axe and Wizzy and HBox making this weird trio where they were all beating each other.
Yeah.
And then after Summit, it, like, sort of fell apart.
But even during Summit, it was like, Mango was playing like garbage.
Sure.
You know, Leffen during this period of time. Leffen kind of like started trying again in the summer, right?
Yeah.
So like there was never a single time where I felt everyone was really, really trying. Even Big House, I felt like everyone who was there was really, really trying, but not everyone was there.
Yeah, no.
Where were Axe and Wizzy? You know, like 2 of the biggest names of the year.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So again, like there was not a lack of exciting moments. It's just like, compared to the last couple of years where like everyone had everything on the table, at least that's how it felt like a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And it's easy to say that looking back, of course, but it felt a little different, especially with so many like fresh narratives coming out of Ultimate. Like we had a lot of really good Ultimate tournaments this year. I mean, Evo was awesome, SmashCon was awesome, Shine was awesome, Congo Saga was awesome, and like the fact that MKLeo is showing such dominance and not receiving like a crazy amount of hate like pretty much every other player who's been on the top has gotten, I don't know, it's good. I think it's good.
Yeah, I think it's good too. Do you think Leo will be... Okay, I have no predictions about Melee in 2020. I could not tell you with any shred of confidence who number 1 would be. I think there are probably 5 or 6 contenders for who could be number 1. HBox, Mango, Leffen, Axe, Wizzy for sure could definitely like outside shot at it. Yeah, and then maybe Plup, but yeah, I don't know. I hope so.
I don't think you listed Zain.
Oh, sorry, I meant to say Zain.
Okay.
I meant to say Zain.
I was gonna say, I think you're missing someone.
Yeah. So you know, like it's pretty much like 5 to 7 people. Do you think there's any chance Leo gets dethroned in Ultimate?
Well, the question is, who would dethrone him? Who has a shot? You'd really need someone to come up. Sam Sora has a pretty solid, like a solid claim to number 2 right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I see him achieving the same level of dominance that Leo has had this year. It would have to be someone new.
You think it would have to be someone new? You don't think like Mars could get better or Tweak
Mars
could,
was
like,
the other person.
Establish himself as more consistent?
I wasn't thinking about Tweak for some reason. Mars was one name that came to mind. I don't know, man. Honestly, I have a hard time seeing anyone in the current like top 4 overcoming him.
I think that's one thing for Ultimate that I'm interested to watch, because I think 2020 will be more exciting for Melee than for Ultimate.
Think so? I think the Ultimate meta is going to get better.
Yeah, you don't think Gimmer killed it?
No. I think people's movement's going to get better. And it's always hard to predict with Ultimate because we do have a lot of variables, most notably the characters, which significantly impact the meta. I mean, the number 1 player right now is using a DLC, right?
And there's another one coming very soon.
Yeah, we have number 5 who's going to come within the next 2 months.
Yeah.
And then 5 more.
Yep.
So who's to say? But I do think that I think Melee is going to be better next year than it was this year. I just have a gut feeling about that. I don't know how Ultimate's going to look. I think meta-wise and gameplay-wise, it's going to improve. But in terms of like the hype, I mean, it's hard to beat the hype in the year of launch, right?
I think that we had a year of Leffen and Plup not giving it their all, and that's the main thing to me. that made this year sort of weird is that we had gaps where like when Wizzy and Axe were doing really well, Leffen and Plup were not showing up to tournaments, et cetera, et cetera. But I think Leffen and Plup are going to be back in full force. I think Leffen pretty much said, I'm going to do a year of Ultimate and then quit, and that's pretty much what he did.
Who knows with that guy, man?
Well, even
now
if
he's playing Tekken.
Nah, he doesn't like the Tekken chat, though. So, but
and who knows with his criminal record, too, I mean.
I think Melee next year is going to be really exciting. I feel really excited for Melee right now because Mango is performing really well. I think Zain is playing really well, although he played okay against. But on the large, he's playing really well. None is playing really well. Like there are a handful of people, more than in the past, that I would say I feel pretty good about possibly knocking someone out of the top 10. You know, like 2 years ago, it was like, yeah, I mean, some people could knock SFAT down, but I don't know specifically who it would be. And now I'm like, iBDW can establish himself as a constant top 10 player. I think None can establish himself as a consistent top 10 player. Wally can establish himself as a consistent top 10 player.
There's two players who I want to call out as possibly shaking things up next year. One is Hax Money.
Oh, yeah. Oh, obviously. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And two is me. Because today, Aziz and I were talking, and I told him I was tired of the current top players winning, and he was like, yeah, there's only two of them who are actual threats. And we decided that we're going to start trying.
Yeah, the two of them that are actual threats to him are Zain and Mango.
That's exactly who he said.
I talked to him last night about it at 1 a.m. at Artichoke Pizza.
Yeah.
He said those are the only two people he thinks could even be considered favored against him. He thinks he's favored against everyone else.
Interesting.
Which I honestly don't know if you can argue with him on that. Right?
I mean, I actually didn't watch his second set against HBox until a little bit later, and I didn't realize how close it was, even that one.
Oh my god, dude, he got clutch boxed so hard.
Yeah, you could see it in his face. He was like, yeah, I got clutch boxed.
He immediately starts, you know, for all of the prickliness of Aziz, that one legendary Mango set where he's like, you know, he's disrespecting me with joke characters is the only time I've seen him like really, one of the only times I've seen him visibly upset after a loss.
In bracket, yeah.
He usually laughs when he loses. He's usually pretty good-natured about it. And I mean, he's been doing it for longer than almost everyone, right?
Yeah.
How many players in the top 10 have been playing for as long as Hax? You got Mango, HBox, Axe.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
S2J?
Maybe, but not at a top level.
Yeah.
And Axe wasn't even at a top. I mean, he's been at a top level for way longer than Axe, too. Because Axe was really good, but he was, you know, seen as a Pikachu god, and then it was more later in the 2010s that...
Well, Hax approaches every aspect of competing very scientifically. So,
yeah.
It's no surprise that given enough time, he makes it happen.
Yeah. He's also, just to clear some stuff up for people, I don't know if people thought that Aziz just came out of nowhere and, like, just fucked people up at a birthday bash. He plays Melee every day with top players. He either goes to Smucker's house, or he goes to Leighton. Big Kid's house, or has people over to his place, and he plays with someone who's, like, top 20 in New York every single day. He's been grinding really hard.
He has 2 Facebook chats looking for people to play.
Yeah.
I have muted them both because they're always playing every day.
Yeah. So he's been practicing really hard. I agree. Aziz can definitely shake stuff up, especially since Hax's nightclub, another advent of this year, is running really smoothly now. Yeah. We had easily the best Hax's nightclub ever. Yesterday, not just because you won, but because it ran really smooth. We had stream going the entire time. It was actually a great tournament. Like, the matches were super exciting and cool with you and Slox and Smuckers and 22, the Ice Climbers player, and JoJo throwing away his potential best run ever.
The only rough part was that Toussaint had to DQ.
Yeah, that was sad. Toussaint, I don't know if we need to talk about why. He
just had to DQ,
which was sad, but it was still a great tournament. I'm really excited for Hax's nightclub in the new year. I was talking to Aziz last night, and I told him, yeah, it's the second best weekly I've ever been to after Get Smashed at the Foundry.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say Foundry.
And he said, "What? How could that local be better?" I was like, because it just was. It was like a better bar, and there were more video games to play, and it went later.
Hey man, OS is new. OS has time to grow.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If you guys are in New York, you should definitely check out Operating System.
But
not a sponsor.
Yes, but you actually should. You really should. It's really cool.
Yeah, they actually have gaming events and esports events every day.
Yeah, every
single day.
Cool stuff too. If you're into Overwatch or COD,
they get their pros there like every week.
Yeah, and Box, who owns NYXL and the Subliners, do a lot of events there with pros.
Yeah. They're also, Andbox is a sponsor of Hax's Nightclub.
They are. Shout outs to Adam Baugh and Mr. Bitter.
Yeah.
Responsible, the architects of that. But yeah, Hax's Nightclub is great. Which also leads us to something else in 2020. Is 2020 the year that we see that code released widespread? Because it was supposed to save Melee, and Aziz still hasn't released it. Which I get why. He's been demo testing it. He really, really wants to like fully work it out. But it seems pretty fully worked out now. We have the...
Which version has he been running? Is he running the like closer to CRT lag fix? You know how there's like 4 versions?
I don't know. He switches them all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I stopped noticing.
It feels great.
They feel fine.
It just feels like CRT.
First couple times it feels odd, but I think a placebo definitely plays a part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, now I don't even think twice.
Yeah, I mean, and you also, the way the monitors refresh is different, as Jesse Hertz has espoused on, so you have to get used to that because it's
that's true.
scan instead of beam.
Yeah, whatever it is.
But I mean, it feels amazing. It feels great. I look forward to Hax's Nightclub all the time because
the only tricky part is that the bubble and the off-screen, the way the aesthetics, that part does kind of mess with you a little bit.
A little bit.
Because after 15 years of playing this game, I have visual muscle reactions to certain positions, and it's like my character's still on the screen, but normally they're off screen. So that part's kind of funky. But
did you notice
small price to pay?
Did you get any star KOs that hit the screen instead of going off the top? Probably not. Marth doesn't get a lot of star KOs. Or maybe you got star KO'd like that.
I mean, I wasn't paying attention to that.
Okay, I got so tripped out at one point because I was on Dreamland and I got a star KO where whoever I killed hit the screen in the front instead of going through the back. And the edges of the screen like turned black, like the screen shrunk and expanded.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I guess when the screen shook from the impact, I guess what I realize now is that on the CRT, when it shakes, it brings the parts that are being rendered that are outside the widescreen in. But we're not rendering past the widescreen at all. So when it shakes, it just brings in black on the edges of the screen.
That's pretty cool.
And I was like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
It was really weird. Yeah, it was really weird.
Huh.
I was not expecting it at all. But Hax's Nightclub, I want to see that code set being used across the nation. I want Albert to beat HBox again, but have it be like legit this time.
Yeah.
Because
it's not.
It's not. It feels so good, and it's pretty easy to set up. I mean, it's all the equipment that you needed for these.
You can download
monitor
Slippy,
locals that
you
everyone.
Can do this. Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone. It's just in terms of equipment. It's what people have been trying to run with monitor locals. It's exactly the same.
Yeah, I remember talking to him because there's always this discussion on like whether locals should be, running the theoretical best version of Melee or if they should be reflecting majors as much as possible to give people practice. Mm-hmm. And I brought that up to Aziz once, and he was like, people who attend locals is 90% of the Smash community, and they don't care as much about majors because not all of them are going to majors. So we should always run the best version of Melee at locals because that's the best service we can do to the community on a most regular basis.
Huh.
I think there's
merit to that argument. Yeah. You can't deny what he's saying.
Yeah, it's a good point.
You might have a counter argument, but
I mean, as someone who was always like gung ho about making sure I was prepared for locals as well as I could, I was always making the argument that we should be reflecting majors.
Yeah. So obviously
now I could be persuaded. Yeah. Or I would, if I really wanted to, I would just stop entering. But for the people who that's not a concern for, they're going every week, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd rather have this than nothing at all.
Agreed.
I did lose to a non-wobbling ice climbers last night. I was very sad about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very sad. I was demoralized after my winners bracket elimination. I really expected to win in winners against the guy I played.
Yeah.
Sucked. But
That's how it goes sometimes.
yeah, I think I want to see this code being
Like coffee
implemented.
table breaking.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
The heck?
yeah.
Oh.
I think the nails just came out of Rishi's coffee table, like a little.
All right, stop.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe 2020 is the year of the. We'll never see the Foundry again, but maybe it's the year of more bar tournaments like this, more LAN cafe stuff like this, because I can definitely see it becoming a thing. Also, Hax's nightclub is honestly more setup intensive than most places would have to be. Because of the limitations of OS, we have to run stuff. If you don't know this if you haven't been there, but it's 2 screens per match.
Yep.
And that's not because Aziz wants split screen. It's because we can't move the gaming chairs, so there's no way to fit 2 setups to a screen.
Yeah.
But
It's
if
too crowded otherwise.
Or two chairs to a screen.
Yeah.
I mean. So, but if there were, I mean, we could be running like.
I'd rather not.
No, I know.
It's
I'm
crowded
just saying,
as it is.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like if there were, it could be even more. And then also we have to bring in speakers. We have our own speakers because
There's quite a bit of setup time at the beginning of every event. They have to set up from scratch. They had to plug in all the Wii's, put all the wires, etc.
And then I help clean up at the end after everyone leaves.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
And I take home money. So we all win.
Yep. And then Aziz makes me get him an Uber to Artichoke Pizza for the 3rd time this month.
Why?
I'm dying. Because we always just get food after. But
Why does he make you do it?
I'm just a pushover, man.
Okay.
Oh, what happened last night is me, Slox, and Hax were standing outside, and Hax was like, yeah, I mean, it's going to be like a super cheap cab or Uber. Like, we can just grab it. It'll be about the same. And I was like, okay, cool. And he just waited there. I was like, so you want me to grab it? It's fine, though.
Yeah.
He paid me back.
He just doesn't want to open the app, I guess.
Yeah.
Back to Melee. Hax's Nightclub premieres January 1st, 2020.
Yeah.
First time they're going to run a 64-man bracket.
Yep. I will not be there.
Oh, you won't?
I'll be in California.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm still unsure if I'm going to be there. I'm leaning towards yes now, just because I'm traveling that day. But Swedish will be there, Two Saints, Smuckers, Slox.
Oh, hell yeah.
Aziz is going to start entering.
Maybe Whisker. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, that's like a number of top 50 players.
It's basically a regional.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty hyped one. I wonder if he's getting a pot bonus or anything. He should.
I don't know.
He should.
Doesn't matter. We're all trying
Line
to
his own pockets.
We're all trying to win. Like we're trying to win. You know.
Yeah, I got you.
Which is something I haven't done for a while.
You won yesterday.
I know.
You won the most Hax's nightclubs.
Until yesterday is what I'm saying.
Oh,
it's like
yeah, because you got fucked by Soonsay.
After I won East Coast Throwdown, it was like, all right, I'm off Melee for a while.
I don't know if you guys can see, but Rishi's East Coast Throwdown trophy is right there. He replaced his Fox poster. He left the Falco one up.
Yeah.
I appreciate.
Yeah. Foxman's changed, man.
Okay, so let's talk about Foxmains in 2019 and Foxmains in 2020.
Sure. I mean, Foxmains in 2019 have. I forgot to tell. I told you I was having this conversation with Scar the other day about how like society reflects Melee. Because this is one of Scar's favorite topics.
Yes, it is.
And how like. So sometimes I just like I put myself in the right headspace to like get that conversation even deeper. So I was like, yeah, like the feeling of being in a conversation where your like adrenaline is going and you're like really on your toes about what the other person's going to say. Like that feels like you're playing neutral with them, and you're like waiting for an opening. And you know how sometimes you like bring up a hypothetical point, like you know what I'm talking about?
Sure. Yeah, I know what hypotheticals are.
So then after you do that and you see what they respond with, then you like trap them into your argument and you're like, this is exactly like crouch canceling.
Learning so much about how Rishi views human interaction.
It's crouch canceling.
This is exactly how
you let them get an opening and you are the one who comes out on top because of it.
This is exactly how I imagine Scar perceiving human interaction as just a fight. Every single conversation is fighting the opponent.
So he was trying to like argue with someone on Twitter who was not engaging with him, and I was like, this is a Fox main sitting on the top platform. Mm-hmm. You're inviting him to come in and take an opening, but he refuses to engage. He's non-interacting.
Right.
So.
But in conversation, that just ends it. There's no way to force them to interact. There's no timer other than death.
That's what I was saying. That's what I told them. Your only option is to wait until time runs out. That's the only option.
We should probably shorten the timer on life. It's too easy to stall right now.
Okay. I think people should just play more interactively. Or we should change the rules.
What, to force
my favorite quote of that conversation was Scar saying, I'm trying to Rishi's Jungle Jam society. Or he said, I'm trying to do Rishi's Jungle Jam of society.
Rishi's Jungle Jam has a shorter timer.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, does it not?
It's 8 minutes.
I thought it was 7. I thought you changed it to 7.
No, it's 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but...
That's too long.
No, it's not, because every once in a while you get a star.
Oh, right, it's to force the stars. Yeah. But there's still the forced non-interactivity. What is that in life?
That's when...
Sleep.
Yeah, it's sleep.
That's when you sleep.
8 hours a night.
Sleep is just someone sitting with a star.
There's no alternative, man. You have to sleep at some point. Anyways, we'll get Scar back on the show.
Yeah, I think he sees the world very similarly to you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I see it the same way, but
You'll get there. You'll get there.
I'll get there. Hey,
so
is your
what were we talking about?
Is your brother going to be top 10 next year?
He's already top 10.
Yeah, but like, is he actually?
I don't think so. He's not going to Genesis, I asked. He just doesn't get his schedule in time for any of these tournaments to really plan for them. And he can't get to any of them in a direct flight. And he has classes on Friday.
because he's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
He has classes on Friday. He can't leave he can't leave past a certain time because his airport doesn't go anywhere. So it sucks. And a lot of times he has Monday exams. And I mean,
can we host Pat's House 4 in Pittsburgh?
He would go.
Yeah, that's my point, right? Like, let's just do beat lloD.
It's rough, man.
What's the fucking AZ, the run back, where they host
run back.
one specific top player to come out? Boss Rush, yeah.
They did Boss Rush lloD.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Did he win?
Like 2 years ago.
2 years ago? Who cares?
Or maybe a year and a half ago.
I can't remember that far back. Just do it again. Boss Rush Part 2.
I think it was the week before he won the bigger Balk.
Oh, true.
I think he did win. I think he was the first invader to win a Boss Rush because Axe didn't go.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, Axe won every Boss Rush except for Boss Rush lloD.
Have they played?
Yes. They played at Smash and Splash 3 because I was recording it on my phone while Zain was beating Leffen. And I was like, something's going on here.
When was the last time Zain beat Leffen?
Big House.
Right, because you mentioned it in your video.
Big House, and before that was Smash and Splash.
Sorry, before that I meant. Before Big House, right? That's what I was talking about.
One time.
Yeah.
He beat Leffen one time, lost 3 times. Meanwhile, Leffen's complaining on Twitter all the time about Marth Fox, and the only Marth he's losing to is Mewtwo King.
Well, he's just better than all the Foxes losing.
Right. And then he loses to Zain at Big House.
Can't really deny that he is, though.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen my video, go check it out. Choosing Your Main is the title.
So this,
That's what we were talking about.
Choosing your main.
Kind of. Yeah.
Fox players.
Fox players,
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah,
Fox players in 2020.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll get more interactive? If Leffen starts playing more?
I know that they're going to start getting more interactive because I'm going to shame them if they don't.
Right. That's what I was expecting.
It's the counter campaign to Spacey Main propaganda. Yeah. It's already begun.
No one can say Falco players aren't interactive. Shooting lasers is being interactive.
I guess. Actually, I didn't talk about it in the video, but there's a higher percentage of Falco players who camp harder than Fox players.
Yeah, I mean...
Not laser camp, like actually top platform camp.
Yeah, but it's more in his tool set. I would say that
That's
Falco
fair.
mains,
That's fair.
You are playing the way your character is built to play and using the tools that speak to you. He jumps really high, dude.
To an extent.
I play the character because he jumps really high, like a bird.
Like a little bit. Like a small fraction of his expressiveness comes from his full hop to the top platform.
A huge amount of it does.
Maybe for you.
I think no, because Falco, the thing that sets Falco apart as a character,
he's the biggest.
Is that he's a slow character who gets to control a ton of space vertically with his jump and then horizontally with his laser, but he doesn't get to control space with his movement as much as other characters. Sure. So I think that actually that is a really big part of who he is as a character.
Camping the top platform?
Yes.
Is that why the best Falco in the world by far... Oh, wait, he doesn't camp the top platform.
No.
So...
Because he's too good.
Okay.
That's it. I'm just saying Falco's vertical movement and being able... He doesn't camp the top platform, but going to top... He uses top platform for mix-ups a lot. You know, that's a pretty big part of it.
Yeah, like the mix-up of whether you're going to stay there...
And do immediately. Anyways, Falco jumps high and I like it.
Yeah. There's definitely a stronger case for it than Fox doing it.
Yes.
Fox has to use both jumps to get there. Right?
Yeah.
It's not in his design.
Right. Exactly. He shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, he shouldn't.
If you go to the top platform, you're not doing what you're supposed to as a Fox player.
Yeah.
Falco, they're telling you to.
Well, they're telling you to take to the air. They're not telling you where to land. You choose to land on the top platform.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure that next year there will be less camping from Foxes, because not only will I shame you if you camp, but I also literally made a video teaching you how not to. I broke it down. Like, the guide is there. You can do it. I showed you what player to watch if you want to learn how to be better at it too. Leffen's good at it too. Leffen's good at it. Cody's good at it. Mango's good at it. That's basically it. Yeah. I mean, obviously there are a couple others, but like,
just not Kalindi.
Not Kalindi.
Kalindi should switch to Puff, as you so elegantly
Whatever.
demonstrated.
Kalindi and I are beefing now.
Yeah?
Yeah, he won't net play me.
Did you see that Kalindi tweet the other day?
Yeah. He's told me that.
I net play, the only people I net play now are Magi, Ginger, and Zain. The first two are because Fox Falco is always fun, and the last one is to remind me not to play this game.
Yeah. No, he's pretty done.
You just don't remind him not to play this game. You need to beat his ass harder.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I do.
Right?
Yeah, he's pretty done with competing. He's said so. I mean, you can never stop playing Melee, but you can stop competing.
For sure.
So.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Who would have thought that the goons of Michigan, the last one to be competing seriously, would be Kalamazoo?
That's wild.
Right?
That is wild.
Obby doesn't compete. Duck plays Sheik now.
Yeah, I mean, I think his Sheik competitive experience was more like, you know, for the fun of it.
I mean, I think he'll continue going to tournaments and playing Sheik, but he does it because it's a way to have fun instead of like actually
It's not because
compete.
he has drive to win like he did with Samus.
Exactly. Yeah, so Kalamazoo.
Let's go, Kzhu.
Kzu's one of the weirdest players ever.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That fucking Big House run, dude.
This year?
No, the Big House.
Oh, the one where he beat Lucky?
4, 5?
I don't remember.
Yeah, the one where he beat Lucky.
No, I'm thinking of a more recent Lucky win. What happened at Big House 5? That was 4 years ago.
Yeah, he just had a super big run. It was like really notable. It was when Hax tweeted that Kalamazoo is better than Armada.
Oh.
I can't remember, but it was really big. And then he got fucking...
Oh, no, he lost to Kage.
He got 33rd result to Kage this year. What?
Zain on his stream pretty recently said, like, he was like, all right, gun to my head, if I had to play a set against either Kage the Warrior or SFET, I would pick SFET.
Big House 4. Big House 4 is when Kzhu got 9th,
Okay.
This was back when MacD was a good player.
Places 5 to 16. Hit the button.
Oh, it is up there. God damn. But is that going to show us who he lost to? It's just going to show us that he got 9. This is not what I want. I want to see who he lost to and who he beat. My memory of Melee history has just... I'm growing old. I have no memory anymore. Kalamazoo. He beat Kirby Kaze. He beat MacD. He went game 5 with Hax. He beat Pork Chops. It was a big deal.
Nice.
It was a big deal. People were really hype about Kzhu back then.
Nice.
It was like, damn, this guy's pretty good.
Oh, dang. Mango beat Hax with Falcon, Marth, and Marth.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No one really watched that set. It's not that important.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Fox players.
Foxes. Yeah.
Fox players.
Yeah, I don't know. Fox is a good character.
Yeah?
I've been thinking about playing more Fox. I have been playing more Fox.
I need to send you the video. Our match.
Which match?
The one you told me to upload. The up tilt match.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Rishi and I, last Hax's nightclub, played 2 games of friendlies before one of us had to play tournament right after. And in the first match, we did spacies. And I started off the match by up tilting Rishi 4 times in a row and then forward smashing him to just kill him.
It's a pretty good move.
And then Rishi spent the entire rest of the match trying to get me to run into his up tilt. And I just up tilted him back for it. And it was just us up tilting each other for an entire match.
It's a good move.
And you got fucked up in the up tilt war, dude.
I need to practice my up tilts against Chillin' more. Yeah.
It is a good move.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a funny match. I have the Slippy replay downloaded and marked. I named it in my downloads like Rishi up tilt match.
Good.
So I'll upload it at some point for the fans.
Man, Melee's a fun game.
All right. Wolf click clap. Rankings. H-Box. Leffen or Mango?
It doesn't matter.
Do rankings matter?
No.
I agree. I agree. All that matters is storylines and how
Yeah.
excited people are about the game.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I'm like, I don't want to spend this podcast going through 1 through 10.
Good.
Like, no one really cares.
No one cares. This feels like the least anyone has ever cared.
Yeah, you care about, like, at the least you care about who number 1 is, right? And then past that, it's like, how excited you are about the game.
Because people get now that rankings... I should have said this in that survey that 15-year-old sent me. If that 15-year-old's listening to this episode, what's your name again? Thespian. Thespian, if you're listening. Shout-outs for the survey, actually. I really like the questions. But I should have said, when you asked about if I have any changes to make to the rankings, it's that they should... The summer ranking should not be less important than the yearly ranking. They should be of equal importance. And if that means dropping off the top 100 for the yearly ranking, I would feel worse about that. But if that means just like putting the top 100 in for summer and just giving them no blurbs, because we don't even really fucking do blurbs anymore anyways, I would do that. Because Melee changes too much in the period of a year for us to have a yearly ranking. It's so dumb. It's so stupid.
That's why I think... I would almost just rather have what Ultimate has and just use
The
like
PGR,
yeah,
an
just
algorithm?
use an algorithmic system.
And we get to update more frequently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the frequency because it also depends on the tournament cadence, you know. Mm-hmm. But just having like an algorithmic system, maybe an X factor. I don't really know what that means. It's just like the player opinions. Like that's what it would be if I didn't use the algorithm.
Isn't it just like variance? I feel like it's just variance.
I think they have I don't know. It doesn't matter that much, but like just something consistent that we can look at every year without having to worry about the politics of ranking and like people campaign for their ranks. And I think that's pretty unfortunate that it has to come to that ever. That people have to like tweet out their wins for the whole year just to remind the panelists like what they've done.
I don't think those tweets do anything, personally.
But people feel like they do. And doesn't that make a statement about the level of confidence people have in the rankings at the end of the day?
I think it just says something about people. I think it says something about how much people care about being ranked.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly care about being ranked. And, you know, like, being ranked is a goal a lot of people have. It's a goal that I've had in the past too. You know, it's still a goal in a certain contexts for me. But I don't know. I feel like we are a little too focused on ranks sometimes.
I hope that the feeling that we both have that this is the least people have cared about ranks is actually true to people other than just us.
Yeah.
I say this especially to players who are looking for sponsors. Tweeting out your results with a looking for sponsor is maybe not even pointless. It actually, to me, almost sometimes feels like it hurts you.
Yeah.
Because all you're saying is, I don't have anything else to show sponsors.
I think we're finally hitting the point where people just need to understand how Smash and esports just works, you know? Like, no one cares about winning for winning's sake.
No.
There's a number of games out there where the best players in the world, like, they're not bringing any value to anything. At the end of the day, Tafo tweeted about this at some point too.
Ludwig is the most valuable free agent in Smash.
Yeah, it's about the value that you bring to a team if you care about being sponsored or signed, you know, by pros. It's not about who you beat. Like, if your goals are to compete and be the best, go for it, you know?
Yeah.
But that's not the same thing as being a pro player.
No.
At least not in Smash.
No. And I mean, in a lot of games too, this is true in a lot of esports. Esports teams have realized that having content creators will be more valuable for them than having pro players.
It's more sustainable, for one thing.
It's
more consistent.
It is sustainable in general. Having a pro player doesn't make you any money most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the time, you're just losing cash on it.
I mean, Mango is like an anomaly, right?
Yeah.
Of Smash players.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's so valuable.
Yeah. Leffen too.
Leffen too.
Leffen in some ways even more. Leffen was more talked about on Twitter than Mango this year.
He was.
By a lot. He was one of the most talked about players in all of esports.
I wonder how much value that carries versus like the consistent exposure Mango gives to whoever he's representing though on a daily basis.
Exposures doesn't do much at all. A lot. I mean, like, pure exposure just by itself is good, and obviously what Leffen is doing is exposure as well, but you look for bite-sized moments. You look to blow up. Like, that's what our media industry is about in general, and Leffen blows up not only more often than Mango, but in wider ranging communities, in more diverse spheres than Mango.
That's true.
So I would say he's quite a bit more valuable. He spreads to more audiences, and yeah. Also, he does more content. Well, they do a good amount, but Leffen has been doing a lot of those little content pieces for Smash Ultimate and stuff, like for his team. No, you need a content creator. That's all you need. That's like the biggest thing that you need. So, and I was talking to this when Sunsei was here. Was that like last week, or was it 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. When Sunsei was here 2 weeks ago, if you are a top 50 level Smash player, and you would like to grow your brand and potentially get sponsored, a lot of people now are understanding that you need to be a content creator, but don't just go on to Twitch and start streaming. Like, you should do that, and you'll probably get, like how many viewers do you get when you stream?
It depends on what I'm streaming and when.
If you're streaming, like, Tryhard Melee or Ultimate.
20, 30?
Yeah, right? You'll get that. That's pretty good for just starting up a stream. Your stream's pretty nice, too. You got some nice assets, and I think that a lot of pro players who are well-known, you can get that much just by streaming. But the thing you should be looking for is to expand on YouTube. It's like absolutely the way that you should expand. Because Twitch doesn't bring new viewers. You only get people who know you on Twitch, especially in Melee, where when you're streaming, you're going to be 9th place on the Melee channels after Mango, M2K, the BTS Smash rerun, like whatever else is happening, Stavino, Docknet play. You know, like, you're going to be so far down what you need to do is bring new viewers and show that you're exciting. So you need to make YouTube content, and you need to make YouTube content that's not just clip outs of your stream. You need to make YouTube content also that appeals to more than just Melee players, which is the really hard part. That's the really hard part.
I mean, there's no formula at the end of the day, right? It's like you just need to find a way to bring the numbers.
There's some formulas.
I mean, there's some formulas once you find an avenue, but like there's nothing that's foolproof.
No. There's nothing that's foolproof. There's no tried and true formula. But if you're just streaming on Twitch and not making tailor-made content for Twitter or YouTube, you're ignoring like what formulas do exist, like ignoring the algorithms that power the internet.
I mean, whatever you're doing, you should make sure you're doing it well.
Yep.
A lot of people just don't.
You got to make tailor-made content for YouTube and Twitter. And if all you have time in the day is to stream, just think about how to tailor your content so that it actually works well on YouTube and you can cut it down, or on Twitter. lloD is a master of that. Do you see how many just like 30-second clips he gets? If the sad fact
he
of the
doesn't
matter,
even make them all himself. Other people pull them.
He makes a ton of them himself, though.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, his stream is more conducive to people sharing his clips.
Well, because he makes clippable content.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so if you don't want to be lloD and perform in a way that will get you clipped and will spread, well, then you're not going to be what organizations are looking for. Not any organization you want to be a part of anyways.
Yeah.
I just guarantee you.
And there's a lot of unsigned players now.
There's a lot of unsigned players.
A lot of signed players who have lost their signed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
In the words of Blur, esports is marketing. I don't know, but you got to understand what you're marketing. Because esports is pretty bad marketing.
Yeah.
That's what you also have to understand.
Yeah.
Everyone's losing money on it.
Yeah, it's changing.
Yeah. That's why lloD isn't esports, but he's who would still be the most.
He's gaming.
Yep. That's why HTC changed their Twitter handle to HTC Gaming. And Red Bull put out that poll like 6 months ago saying, should we change our Twitter to Red Bull Gaming instead of Red Bull Esports?
Yeah.
Because it would be better for them. If it weren't for the backlash, they would have done it.
Yeah.
100%. They shouldn't have put out the poll. It was dumb.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We'll take a break and then come back with stuff.
We've been going for an hour already.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back in a second. Bye, guys.
Hey everyone, I hope you've been enjoying the episode. Sorry as always for technical difficulties, although you guys are used to those by this point. I think we have a new one this time, which is a flashing screen, courtesy of Rishi watching Star Trek Into Darkness, or whichever that one that was, which was distracting not only to us, but also to you while you're watching, I'm sure, since our faces are lighting up all a bunch of different colors. So sorry about that. I also realized while editing this video that we make a joke about a Coke can you can't see, although I held it up right after that, so maybe that works, but, I guess that doesn't work for the podcast listeners anyways, which, we usually have a great track record with making our audio-based medium work for audio-based listeners, so apologies on that. Hope you're enjoying the episode. I'm going to keep this one really short. I'm currently sitting in my childhood home, close to midnight, on December 30th, not the 31st. I'm not so sad that I'm editing an episode of my very inconsistent podcast on New Year's Eve, but I definitely did put it off until New Year's Eve. So I should probably get back to that. But I hope you guys are enjoying. And our New Year's resolution will be to keep making these. That sounds good to me. I'm not going to promise anything that we know we can't keep, because we've all been there before. Thanks you for the continued support. We really do appreciate it. The fact that we have fans who don't really pester us about new episodes and are just happy to see what we make when we make it is really wonderful. We don't deserve you guys, and it's always been a joy making this podcast because you guys let us do what we want with it, and that's really pretty great. I think Rishi and I think I speak for the both of us. I haven't spoken to him about this sentiment, but I'm guessing he does agree with it. So thanks again. We love you guys. We love our fans, and I'm going to set my computer to render now, and hopefully my childhood home does not light on fire to end the new year from all of the heat spilling out of my computer. That would be a pretty terrible way to end the decade. All right, guys. Here's to a happy 2020. We'll see you guys in the new year. Bye.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Analog, our recap episode, although we've been recapping mostly our own emotional states and feelings, which is what you guys are all here for. And one feeling very dear to both of us, more Rishi than me actually, is teams. How he feels about teams.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been a lot to feel about teams this year.
Hasn't really happened. I mean, I feel like it almost started with PewFat losing their win streak.
Yeah, and then since then, I mean, it's just been weird. I mean, UGS is not really a thing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Armada was pretty committed to playing for a while, but a combination of that and Android retiring.
Right. Yeah, and then PewFat just doesn't show up a lot of the time, or when they do, they just win, right? Like, there's no competition there for them. I don't, honestly, the best thing to talk about is, the best way to make this point is that I don't remember, like, when PewFat shows up or not, because feels like no one really cares about teams
no one's
that
paying
much
that
anymore.
much attention.
Yeah, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that that a lot of top players have become more and more of the wave that when you play teams, it hurts your singles performance, right? We saw Mango saying that, even though he won teams at Birthday Bash with Plup, which was a cool new team. But he's tweeted at Johnny a bunch of times, like, you shouldn't play teams, dude. I have to give it up because it hurts me.
I don't feel like those were the guys who were really carrying the team's narrative anyways.
That's true.
I think...
Johnny a little bit.
Just maybe a little bit. But it was more like Mutaking and Plup were teaming a lot, and Mutaking stopped entering Melee.
And Plup was doing Ultimate stuff.
Yeah,
you
can only enter so many events. And then there's PewFat, and they were entering for a solid year. They won every tournament. There was UGS, and the UGS PewFat narrative was there, but then UGS stopped entering. There was the Chu HBox team. Chu stopped coming to things for some reason.
You and lloD. lloD stopped coming to things.
Yeah, lloD stopped coming to things. So we haven't entered a teams tournament in over a year, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is nuts.
I mean, just it almost feels like through circumstance, a lot of the teams just kind of stopped entering.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the excitement of teams was. It's the static teams. It's not the fact that, top player X and Y.
Right. So there have been top player teams like Mango and Plup.
Yeah.
And like, we've seen HBox teaming with other people.
Zain.
Yeah, HBox and Zain was a team that happened
But there's
recently.
no static teams. There's no story there.
Static teams are what we care about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's gone away.
Yeah.
So the only static teams left can't contend with PewFat, which is the only one. So if PewFat was at a tournament this year, it was like, oh, PewFat's going to win the tournament.
I would love to come back with lloD, but unfortunately that's not happening. The only tournaments he's been able to enter this year, he's not been able to attend for the duration of teams.
Yes, that's true.
So
yeah, I don't know, man. There's less. I just feel like Melee is getting streamlined in what people care about.
Yeah.
In some ways, and so it feels like people have less room to care about things. Teams just is not one of those things right now.
Yeah.
For players
it's
and spectators.
Saturation of content. So at some point something gets cut. Teams feels like that's one of those things.
Yeah.
Especially with a lot of like new advances such as Rishi's Jungle Jam.
Or the other game, Ultimate too.
Ultimate, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Takes
forgot
up
about
some,
that one.
some stream time. Yeah. Well, it's not as important.
Yeah. And then they ran Rishi's Jungle Jam in Ultimate at Congo Saga.
And it sucked.
Did they stream it? I didn't even see it.
I just know you've told me that Rishi's Jungle Jam is terrible in Ultimate.
I didn't need to watch it to know that it was going to be. I'm sure that it was.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either.
It just works. It just works differently.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that streamlining has been pretty evident outside of like teams getting cut, you know? I mean, it's the reason people don't watch locals anymore too, right?
Yeah, it's not so much that like well, I'll phrase it another way. I think you have to be producing content that grabs people's attention because there's always something out there now. It's not just like, yeah, I'm gonna watch Melee for Melee's sake. It's like, how do you think Ludwig got so huge? Why is he averaging thousands of viewers every day?
2019 was the year of Ludwig.
Yeah.
That's like in Melee. If you want to know what happened to the Melee community in 2019, you just go to Ludwig's stream.
Well, he's smart. I mean, he knows who he is. He knows his brand. He knows his audience. He knows how to put out interesting content that's, different, and he's innovating on it too, right? It's not just the same old Melee streams that we're used to.
Yeah.
I get bored watching I don't watch people's Melee streams. Sometimes I watch Zane's, if it's like one of my friends, I'll watch and
I watch
talk to
Zane's
them.
stream because I just know the combos will be pleasant and nice to watch.
Sure.
Like that's it.
But like the vast majority of Melee streams, I'm not really watching.
Yeah, because it's just, we've watched so much Melee already.
Yeah. It really does come down to the story, honestly. Right?
I mean, and this is why I think, along with locals, whatever, death of locals, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, people care less about watching locals these days. Like, you've seen so much Melee.
Depending on the local, I do think Hax's Nightclub has the potential to break that, because I think Hax's Nightclub can build those storylines.
I think if Hax's Nightclub builds a significant viewership, it will not be because of those storylines, because storylines become uninteresting once they happen all the time. Okay. Like, Polarity was putting up pretty mediocre numbers despite having amazing competitors for the past few years, you know? Because that's the most stacked local and has been for quite a while. Yeah. MDVA too has some pretty stacked locals, but those don't get
not as much
numbers.
These days. Jerry has stopped entering. Right. It's really
but
just
you know what I mean. I'm talking like in the past 2 years as they've fallen off.
Sure.
So I don't think that having a more stacked tri-state local will do that. If Hax's Nightclub blows up, it'll be because of Aziz. It'll be because of Hax, right?
Yeah, could be.
Hax talks a lot about, the way that we need to make this local do really well is like getting DJ on the mic and having dedicated commentators. And I think there's a lot of merit to that. Yeah. But the number one way to grow Hax's Nightclub would be to put Hax money on the mic, because he's the most valuable person there. He's the person who people care about. It's
gotta feel like an experience when you're watching it. It can't just be like local number 2.
Yes, which I think it is going to be. I think it has a little bit of a Foundry vibe already, because there's alcohol and food. The venue is sick. You can see how sick the venue is. Yeah. I think we should start like IRL streaming Hax's Nightclub.
Yeah, why not?
I think that we should have Hax 1 and Hax 2.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
And one would
like put some open mics down, get anyone to just kind of like sit down and shoot the shit.
Exactly. One of them would be.
They have to have like VIP badges.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Hax's Nightclub.
He just walks over to some South Korean Overwatch players and asks them to play Melee with him.
It'd be really cool to get some of the like the NYXL guys or subliners.
He is potentially one of the most wasted opportunities of a streamer probably ever.
I've told him that multiple times.
Hax money.
Yeah, no, I've told him. He is
top 0.01% in the most popular video game in the world. He has a huge following from another video game. Yeah. He has an entertainer's personality.
He knows. I've had this conversation with him several times. Like, it's just not his personality to do that every day. Unless
he doesn't even need to do it every day.
Unless he decides one day that he wants to, and then it will be.
It's because he's a perfectionist, is what he always says. If I want to stream like that,
perfectionist.
If I want to stream like that, I want it to be perfect, and it'll take time away from the other things. But I was telling him yesterday, I was like, if you stream 2 days a week plus Hax's nightclub, like you wouldn't be huge, but you would get a lot of shit.
No, I know. I've had this exact conversation with him. It's like you could do what PP's doing, you know? Only stream a few times.
Well,
few hours at a
if he
time.
just streams fucking League, dude.
I know.
Like
Whatever. He knows all this.
he does know all this. But he is an obsessive perfectionist, and his obsession has been building this box controller and building his local and getting good at Melee, and he fucking did all it. I mean, he accomplished his goals.
Yeah.
He got his challenger jacket in League. That's all he wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, Hax. But yeah, he could be up there as like one of the more popular streamers on Twitch, I think.
Yeah, if he wanted to.
If he wanted to. Yeah. Someday, when he retires from Melee, League season 73.
Yeah.
He'll be a one-trick 73-year-old Twisted Fate, and it'll just be an old man, and that'll be part of the draw. Yeah. Old gamer stuff. All those clips of like old gamer pops off will just be Aziz Al-Yami.
Yep.
You know, yesterday, Aziz sent me this text, or a screenshot of a text. I was on commentary, and he came up to me and he was like, hey, do you want to go to Artichoke later? And I said, no, I mean, like, can we try and go somewhere else? I would really like to go somewhere else. And then we ended up going to Artichoke. So Aziz sent me a screenshot this morning, and it's a text from his mom. And it says, hey, Aziz, great stream. One of the commentators said he doesn't want to go to Artichoke Pizza again with you tonight. Can't you find another place to go?
Oh, my goodness.
And then Aziz just texted back, we still went.
That's so funny.
So I know Mama Al-Yami is looking out for me.
Yeah. Shout outs to Mom Money.
Not the son, though. Baby gets what baby wants.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. We'll see. I'm interested to see Melee in New York come back. It'll be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
We got a lot of good players.
We do have a lot of good players, although our nominal best player no longer lives here. Fucking Cody.
It's okay. Me and Aziz will just pass him.
Yeah. Aziz thinks he already is far ahead of him.
Could be.
Could be. Do you think Cody will hold on to top 10 next year? You see the tweets he made, like, yesterday?
No.
He was talking about how, because he was obviously the biggest rise, I think, of the year, I would say.
Probably. Him and Fiction.
Yeah, but Fiction was different.
Yeah, he's different.
It felt different for a lot of
No, I know
reasons.
what you mean.
Because he was a proven entity a little bit.
Yeah.
But Cody was tweeting, like, I think this entire year I've been trying to live up to my peak from Summit, and as opposed to understanding that I was playing above my average.
I was in his stream when he was talking about that.
Yeah,
so yeah, I got that.
He was rating that as what should be his average level of
so
play,
then
as
every
opposed to I had a
performance-
really fucking good tournament.
So every performance after that feels like a disappointment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I totally get that.
So
As for whether he'll be top 10, I have no idea, man. The only read I have on next year is that Zane's going to be number 1.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he wants it.
He's wanted it for a long time.
Yeah, and I think he's gotten closer every year. Even though he didn't win anything this year, and he did win something last year, he might be the most consistent player of the year. Right?
Wizzy?
I was going to say Wizzy might be the only other person with an argument for that.
Yeah.
Either Wizzy
Omsa
or him.
was pretty consistent too.
With such little data.
Yeah, Wizzy such little data too though.
And Zayn the most data. So
Yeah,
you
more
could probably,
consistent.
So
Yeah.
from there you could make the argument that he's the most consistent player of the year.
Yes, that's probably true.
Yeah.
That's
and,
probably true.
Uh,
of his problem matchups, I think Hungrybox is more of a mental thing than anything else.
Oh my god, dude. I couldn't believe it happened again at Mango's birthday bash.
I'm just amazed at his resilience. I mean, the fact that he's remaining optimistic after losing in the exact same way down to the wire all year long. I mean, that's hard, dude. All year long to lose like that to the same guy?
Yeah.
That sucks.
No, it's terrible.
I mean, getting clutch boxed as Fox is like, all right, I got rested. For Zain, it's like I got comboed, you know?
Yeah, it does suck.
So for him to still feel like he's going to come back, I mean, I think there's a lot of merit to that. You have to give him credit.
Oh, for sure.
And then,
I've always said he has the best work ethic and the best mentality in the top 10.
And then Axe is only a matter of time for him. I've been saying this. I already feel like he's at the point where he can beat Axe. Mm-hmm. It's just the last opportunity he had was immediately following a heartbreaking HBox loss.
Yeah, but do you think once he beats Axe, he's going to like continue?
Not every time. It might go back and forth.
Right.
But eventually, I think he will get there.
Okay.
I think it partially depends on how often they play, because he doesn't get to play friendlies with Axe or any Pikachu near his level.
Right, just like Fiction doesn't get to play anymore.
Right. And then Mango. Oh, Mango's just a god, dude. What do you say? There's nothing to solve about Mango. You just had to outplay him.
That's
his threat.
Don't think Zain will be number 1 next year.
Okay. How much you want to put on it?
Ooh. I'd be down to put like 20 on it.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. We will see.
Yeah.
I do not think it's just you think he will and I think he will not.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Shake on it. We already did that.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Anyways.
Bobby Big Ball's top 30?
No. Sorry.
I don't think so either.
Okay.
There's so many people who are saying that Cody says he's like a top 30 level player.
Maybe at his peak.
When he's pushing and pulling.
I don't know. So much of the equation these days feels like how hard is someone trying and how much are they attending?
Yeah,
right?
I don't really care about people even though I keep asking you all these questions, when I try to think about what I care about in the next year, I don't really care about people's rankings. I care about, will Axe beat HBox? Will Zain beat Axe ever?
Yeah.
Will Mango continue to, like, it's storylines. It's all narratives. That's all that matters.
I want people to go as hard as they can next year.
Yeah, me too. It'd be super sick. 2020, it's a good year for it. It sounds nice.
I mean, you know this. I'm just always on the fence about whether I'm going to be one of those people, whether I want to go as hard as I can next year. Because last year, I think I did.
Mm-hmm. And you had your best year ever.
Yeah, this year I did not.
You had an okay year.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your standards, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Something I'm going to meditate a lot on.
Right, you're going to get into that top 10 with Aziz, though. You promised him. Because you're tired of these fuckers.
I am.
In the top 10.
I am
it's the
tired.
same people.
I am. It's not the fact that it's the same people. It's just like the way that it's happening. I'm not happy with it.
Okay.
Melee can be so much more.
Okay, here's a question that is not actually about who will, all the boring prediction.
Okay.
Make your ideal top 10 in the world that would make Melee the sickest it could be.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Zain.
Mm-hmm.
Mango.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Hax. lloD. I'm not biased here in this list, if you can tell.
Junebug.
For the record, I can make a very solid argument for all 5 of these players so far for being the most entertaining and valuable top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I already made the argument for lloD in my video, if you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You haven't said your favorite Melee player.
I was just thinking about him. Like,
is he not in your top 10?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. All right, yeah, Axe goes in there.
Okay.
He is the best Melee player in the world by far.
Uh-huh.
Have to put him in there.
Uh-huh.
HBox is out. Wizzy's out. All the Falcons are out. Maybe. None is a maybe in there.
Yeah.
None is a maybe in there. All the Falcons are out. Mango's the only one I care about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna think about this by character now. 2 Marths is enough. I think me and Zain is enough interesting Marth.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming I'm at that top 10 level.
No Sheik players yet.
I don't think I want to
Other
see
than
any
Junebug.
Sheik players in there. Yeah, I don't think there needs to be a Sheik.
What about Yoshi?
No. Yeah, no Yoshi, no Sheik.
Oh man,
Sheik is just less interesting Marth.
I'm really interested to see who your final four. So what? Right, we've got 2 Marths right now.
Yeah.
1 Falco, 1 Pikachu,
A Peach.
and a Fox.
Yeah. Maybe I'll cut it off at 6.
You don't even care about the rest.
I'll put myself in a second time as DK. I don't know. I don't think I want to see another Peach in there. Like, maybe Triff. Just to have, like, some variance on the Peach.
Right.
Who else plays cool? Duck. Duck would be a nice change of pace across the rest of the players.
What about Plup if he can only play Samus?
Yeah, I would put that in.
Right.
I would definitely put that in.
Yeah.
I'd for sure put Plup Samus in there. I'm losing count now.
That's 8 with Duck and Plup.
Well, I don't want both of them in there.
Okay. That's what I thought. That's a bit too much.
Yeah, I don't want 2 Samuses.
That's way too much Samus
Just
for
one
anyone.
Samus. One Samus is enough.
2 Samuses is like Metroid Other M.
Yeah.
No one like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, probably another Fox.
Yeah.
What Fox did I put in there already? Aziz?
Aziz.
Yeah. Ooh. As much as I love Cody, I don't think I'd put him in. Maybe I would put Leffen in.
Yeah, I was wondering about that one.
Yeah, Leffen would be in there.
Okay.
His Fox, sometimes I forget how good his Fox is.
Yes.
It's just that top 10 Leffen now is like, I don't know, sometimes it's annoying to watch him. I'm going to put good Leffen in the top 10.
Okay.
Leffen when he's playing well.
Okay.
And then the last spot, Chudette with Wobbling Legal.
Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus. Well, needless to say, my top 10 is exactly the same.
Yeah, of course.
I can't even really think. I mean, this is just a testament to how cool our top players are. Like, they're already pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's hard to be like, oh, yes, I would want a different Falco than Mango. Or even like...
I think I do want None in there.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think so, too.
I actually love the way None plays. You know, at Mango's tournament, I got to sit down and play None for like a solid hour and a half and just talk with him. And it was like, I mean, it made the whole weekend just worth it. Just like...
He's a lot smarter than everyone gives him credit for.
Yeah. It was just really fun to play him, too, because it was like... I don't know, I just felt like we were both just like in the zone and just playing the game for like a solid period of time with multiple characters on both sides too. It was really fun.
Okay, so mine would be Zain, Rishi, Zain for sure, Mango for sure, Leffen for sure. I would include Amsa. I think Yoshi's cool.
Yeah.
I like Yoshi. I don't know if I would include Axe. I don't really find watching Pikachu that interesting. I just like Axe a lot. No disrespect to Axe. This is just like no disrespect. Axe, I don't know if you listen to our podcast. I think you're amazing. I love you. I just don't know if I'm trying to explain myself to someone who's not even listening. Don't @Axe. Aziz for sure. I guess it's just like a matter of whose playstyle do you think is the most interesting that could be pushed to really interesting places. Like, I think Toussaint in top 10 would be pretty fucking cool.
I was wondering about that.
Right? Like,
but the thing is, I think Toussaint is also really, really campy when he wants to be.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just don't want to see Campy Puff in the
right.
top 10.
I agree.
I think there's a pretty good case for Toussaint, or you could make a case for Toussaint being the number 2 Puff. It's either him or Michael, right? Mm-hmm. On a good day for either of them. Mm-hmm. And on a good day for either of them, they're playing Mad Campy.
Right.
So is H-Box.
Yeah.
That's how you play Puff.
I would put Bananas in top 10.
I think that'd be a solid pick.
Bananas in top 10 seems super sick to me.
With or without wobbling.
I would revive Fly Amanita.
Yeah, I know you love Fly. Yeah. 2 Ices? Damn.
I've lost track. I'm just talking about players who I want to see. I don't know.
A lot of Ices.
This just loops into the idea. This loops into something your video got at.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. Yeah.
That is
same idea.
that we conceive of the optimal, most interesting way. We conflate optimal and most interesting with characters too frequently in this game, I think. And I think your video did a really good job of pointing out when the disparity between that makes things more interesting by pointing out like the difference between lloD and Triff.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to say, oh, well, what fucking, what Falco would I want to be in there if I had to choose someone other than Mango? Oh, it would be Ginger, because he's the best other Falco, right? Something like it could be West there, but you know what I'm saying, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's so easy to just go to the next person down.
Yeah.
Because
that's why at some point in my list I was like, let me think about this character by character.
Right, exactly.
Because then it's like you have optimal, and then you have who expresses their ideas in a way that's contrary to what your expectations are for that character, and that's where interesting comes from.
And that's why I think that I would put Mewtwo King in there.
Yeah,
because he's never uninteresting to watch.
I actually think I would agree. I think in either of our lists there has to be like a conditionality that not one single player is massively dominant over the rest.
Oh yeah. That is a big point. But that's also why we said we want to see Plups Samus, right? It's not that Plups Sheik isn't cool. It's the coolest Sheik in the world. It's not that Plups Fox isn't cool, although it's, there's a lot of cool foxes.
Yeah.
It's the push-pull of Plups Samus doing
Samus
things
is the most interesting
we don't expect. It's not just the most interesting Samus, it's just the most interesting...
Also, I take that back. I love Duck Samus.
Yeah, I know you love Duck Samus.
but Plups Samus is awesome.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It speaks to something that when we say who we want, we're choosing the people who are already the best, because we find them the most interesting, by and large.
You're not going to pick like the fifth best of any character, right? Because what is the fifth best player of any character doing that's so different from the rest, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
They're not. That's what Leffen always used to get mad in Ultimate when people were like, people are saying Tweak's Roy is better than mine, even though I'm a Roy main. Well, it is better than yours.
Yeah.
He's a better player.
Right.
Yeah, so who is pushing the limits of their character even without without corresponding
As I
results.
say that, I realize I'm possibly the fifth best Marth player. I didn't actually count in my head, but I'm in there. So I take that back. Who would pick the sixth best of any character?
Are you fifth? Are you putting Ryan above you?
I don't know. It depends on what.
I forgot. No. There's
Spud is currently ranked above me too. If you go by the most recent rankings.
Well, there is actually another. Marth's play so different. There's so many of them. I would love to see Mr. L's in the top 10.
Yeah, now that I've brought up that point, I'm thinking Marth might be one of those characters that it's okay to say.
Yeah,
you could go lower on the list.
Right, he is.
Because Mr. Forrest is very interesting
Marth
to watch.
And Falcon is another one.
Yeah, Smuckers play super different from
all of them.
Well, they all play different from each other, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's really hard to pin down Alex's
Fox,
style.
I don't care about the...
Exactly. I don't care about Fox at all.
Falco,
just give me Leffen because he is the ideal of it.
Yeah. Falco, I don't care very much past Mango. Puff, we already talked about Puff.
Yeah.
Peach, I don't care past lloD or Triff, right?
Yeah. This really just turned into us naming who is our favorite of each character.
Yeah. But with some structure to it. With some structure to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this is you'll get a whole lot more out of this if you've watched the video I put up. Not to like self-advertise, but like we're clearly discussing this with like a background.
We are clearly discussing
content,
it. Yeah. But it's you talking about playing to the strengths of the characters and
Yeah.
how you define what your strengths are with your
Yeah,
character.
because I've always wondered, like, when you're trying to pick a character, should you look at your own personal strengths and say, I want to play a character that maximizes these strengths, or I want to play a character that covers my weaknesses, you know? Or where my strengths cover my character's weaknesses.
I don't think
I don't know.
Should necessarily be either.
Yeah, I'm not saying it has to be one or the other, but that's the first question you might ask, right?
Is it? The point of your video is more, how does this character let me
Well, the video
express?
is where I got eventually.
Right.
From starting there.
Yeah. I think definitely playing a character that covers your weaknesses seems wrong to me. Is there any player who does that?
Don't you feel like that has been the case for lloD a little bit? Where like his strengths are not, like his strengths cover Peach's weaknesses?
That I feel is true.
Okay.
I don't know if Peach's strengths cover lloD's weaknesses though.
Okay.
That's the difference, right? Because when you think Peach's strengths, you think of being able to suffocate with hitboxes. You think of being able to be sort of immovable. You think of combo potential off of stray hits, and those aren't lloD's weaknesses.
Yeah.
It's just that his strengths don't align with. I don't know. I guess relatively they are weaknesses, but.
Yeah.
But maybe the idea there is that you don't need to push your strength in that because what he does with those strengths is sufficient, right? Like you don't need to be.
Yeah.
Like maybe he is really he is strong at blocking out space,
yeah.
but he doesn't need to be focus on blocking out space because it makes a more variant game plan with Peach.
If you remember, like 2 years ago when I was writing articles for Dignitas and I had my Max Yield series, just thinking about like skills that you need to master with each character. Like if you master these skills, what's going to get you the most result for the most efficient amount of effort?
Yeah.
It kind of comes down to that. It's like, what skills are you practicing and how does that translate to your character?
Yeah, like
it all relates, I think.
Even M2K. I mean, M2K's characters don't cover his weaknesses. They like Marth accentuates his weaknesses because Marth gets fucked up really hard when he runs across the stage and dash attacks a lot of the time. It used to not be as true because people's punish game on Marth was pretty fucking terrible. It's still...
Now it's gotten better.
It's gotten better. It's still not as good as it could be, but it's still pretty terrible, right?
My punish game against Marth is...
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
it is. But you know what I mean.
Most Marth players love destroying Marth.
Yeah. Falco.
Well, that's with most characters.
Falco
right?
accentuates Mango's weaknesses, which are also his strengths.
Yeah. Also, that's an interesting part of Falco. For sure.
But
I think like all the pieces of content that I've made about this idea, I think it's all part of the same like theory. It's just kind of hard to articulate all at once. Just like the way Smash works. It's all about like how Smash is expression. But like the reason I say it's too hard to articulate all at once is because once I start going down the idea pathway of Smash being expression, it's like you have to consider it while considering the fact that you are interacting with an opponent. And then it gets trickier. Because it's not strictly like writing or art or music where it's you are creating something and then presenting it to other people.
Your ideas are forcefully negated by a hostile entity.
Yeah, it's like a debate or a sword fight.
And what's incredible is that people will stick to those ideas despite them being negated because it just feels so good when they're not.
Yeah, I mean, and this comes back to like what Scar always talks about is like using melee as a
conversation.
I was gonna say as an analog for real life.
As an analog for dialogue. We should do season 2 of Analog and call it Dialogue.
That was such a good moment. You ruined it. And then the camera died. Even the camera knew. God damn it. This is why we only do one episode every few months.
There's a lot of reasons we only do one episode every few months. That's a good place to end.
Yeah.
With me ruining Rishi's joke.
It's not a joke. It was a profound statement that ties in the title
Everything
of the show.
You say is a joke.
That's rude.
Is it false?
Yes. I've never lied in my life.
I didn't say everything you say is a lie. I
know. I said I've not lied once.
Oh, you're just asserting that.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to get that out of the way.
Thanks for listening. I'm Bobby Scar.
What's DK's strengths?
Punishing.
I wanted you to give a joke answer. We've fallen apart. I wanted 4 Falco Shines to come in somewhere.
No. Why would that's not a joke.
That's true. That's just a fact of DK's toolkit. That he has 4 Falco Shines.
DK is like arguing with someone while breakdancing around them. But they can't.
What?
But they can't refute any of your points. So they're just like, wow, I really feel like an idiot right now. And this guy's breakdancing.
Oh, God. Guys, it's been a great year. Thank you for sticking with us despite our inability to make an episode or even improvise off of each other at certain times.
We're really good at finishing each other's sentences.
What? I zoned out there.
Oh, okay. Hey, can I commentate Genesis?
Nope, sorry.
Okay.
Roster's full.
All right.
That's my final word.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.